Okay, so in recent years, council officers recommended third-party providers to schools. Some conducted classroom lessons and staff training. Groups such as All Sorts and Race Matters advised on procedure and future strategies. Criticism has been made of certain groups that the materials delivered in schools are contrary to or misrepresent the law, national standards, guidelines, policy, and evidence. It seems these groups are not regulated to ensure materials provided appropriately reflect law and national standards. And I offered all the list of the relevant laws to the chair. Can council reassure parents that it will stop recommending such providers and implement quality assurance measures to ensure compliance with national policy, law, regulation and guidance? Thank you.
Thank you. So I call on Cllr Shanks to reply. Well, oh, sorry, Sankey. I had Shanks written down, but actually it's not. It's Sankey. Okay, so yeah.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As an administration, the education and well-being of children across the city is of paramount importance to us. We are committed to ensuring that all of our children are centred and supported in their learning and development. Our personal, social, health and economic education and anti-racist education teams contract or work with third-party providers when they offer something that is well established, has credibility and enhances what the council can directly offer. When we contract or recommend third-party providers, we always follow Department for Education guidance. We are mindful of a school's legal requirements under the Equality Act 2010, the Human Rights Act 1998, and the Prevent Duty. We also ensure that providers support a school's requirement to promote fundamental values, for example, democracy, the rule of law, individual liberty, and mutual respect and tolerance of those with different faiths and beliefs. The council does not work or recommend any third-party provider that breaks or misrepresents the law, and so these claims and accusations are baseless smears. We ask to see materials and we observe initial sessions to assure quality, and we always seek feedback from schools. Before making any recommendations, we always thoroughly research the offer, where possible, see their work in another setting, and seek recommendations from trusted sources. Alongside this, we actively promote staff awareness of the statutory requirements included in the political impartiality guidance through our bulletins to schools and via briefings in relevant meetings. We encourage all schools to meet the provider before a session and ensure they are clear about the aims and the content being delivered. In particular, on a personal note, I'm disappointed to see these baseless attacks on providers of education in our schools, in particular on race and racism. As a mixed heritage woman who was educated in Brighton and Hove, I know that the city has a long way to go to eradicate racism from our learning environments. Last month, I was pleased to be invited to chair a panel of young Black and mixed heritage students talking about their present experiences of racism in schools, and I was devastated by what I heard. Racism is prevalent and, in my view, has increased since I was educated in Brighton and Hove in the 1980s and 90s. Everyone in our city is responsible for driving this out, whether residents, teachers, parents and students, and the City Council will proudly be doing our bit. Ironically, it's the government's own guidance on schools' gender policies that have just been stopped in their tracks by their own Attorney General on grounds that they will be breaking the law. Our objective is to ensure that teachers and staff in schools have the skills to ensure learning in classrooms is balanced, prepares children and young people for life in modern Britain, and teaches them about the society and the world that they will grow up into. However, it's for each school to decide on who delivers materials and the resources that they use.
Thank you. Right. Do you have a supplementary question, Adrian Hunter?
Yes, I do. To be clear, parents require reassurance that third-party providers are suitably qualified, that these organisations have the in-house expertise to operate within the boundaries of government guidance and the law, for example, safeguarding and recognise the limitations of their proficiency. For example, parents have described charity organisations in the city who have no staff clinically qualified in gender dysphoria, who are affirming a child's gender, which according to the NHS is not a neutral act, and facilitating referrals to GPs who are known to prescribe cross-sex hormones to children without specialist diagnosis of gender dysphoria. Indeed, one charity organisation present in most schools in Brighton and Hove are listed as an official partner of Gender GP, who have previously been subject to investigation by the General Medical Council and medical tribunals processes. This is my question. Thank you. Thank you. Does the chair agree that any individual or organisation working in local authority schools or funded in any way by the council who promotes gender ideology and affirms the gender of individual children must be suitably clinically qualified to do so, or otherwise risk a catastrophic failure in this council's safeguarding duty? Thank you.
Cllr Sankey.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think that question somewhat repeats the first question, so I'd reiterate that this council follows law, national law, policy and guidance on this matter. And it's actually the national government that at the moment is at risk of bringing forward changes to policy that would break the law.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we must finish now and move on to the next question, because that one took up rather a lot of the time on questions.